Just take half his money and move to Florida with Kevin. My name is Robert Miller. I'm 52 years old. I work as a financial advisor at Meridian Wealth Management. Been there 18 years. I just heard my 24-year-old son Tyler give this advice to my wife Linda. He thought I was still at work. The phone line stayed open after he hung up. Linda had been cheating on me with Kevin Morrison. He's 45, personal trainer at our country club. But hearing my own son tell her how to steal my money, that was different. Tyler was coaching my wife, teaching her how to take my money, how to screw me in divorce court. My own kid. I sat in my car for 20 minutes. Engine off, just thinking about what I'd heard. 26 years of marriage, 24 years raising Tyler. And this is what I get. If you like stories about family betrayal and how financial knowledge can beat people trying to scam you, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel right now. Every day brings completely new stories, each one crazier than the last. 6 months ago, Linda joined the country club gym. Said she wanted to get in shape. I supported it. Paid for personal training sessions, $150 per session, twice a week. That's $2,200 a month. Kevin Morrison was her trainer. Good-looking guy. Divorced. Lives downtown. Drives a BMW. At least that's what everyone saw. Linda started changing. New workout clothes. Expensive stuff. Lululemon everything. New hairstyle. Started wearing makeup to the gym. Spent more time getting ready for workouts than for dinner with me. Tyler started coming home more often too. Always talking quietly with his mom in the kitchen. I'd walk in, they'd stop talking. Tyler would mumble something about job interviews. Linda would talk about dinner plans. It was weird. I'm a financial advisor. I manage $50 million in assets for over 200 clients. I help people protect their money from bad decisions, from people who want to take advantage of them. But I never thought my own family would try to rob me. Our house is worth $850,000. I've got $400,000 in my 401k, another $200,000 in investment accounts. Linda hasn't worked in 20 years. I've been supporting her completely, giving her $3,000 a month spending money, paying for everything she wants. Tyler got $120,000 for college. I paid every penny. No student loans. Bought him a car when he turned 16. Paid his rent through business school. I thought I was being a good father. The phone records came in our monthly bill. Linda's phone usage had tripled. 847 calls and texts in 4 months. Long phone calls at weird hours. When I asked about it, she said it was her book club friends. Lies. Credit card statements showed things that didn't make sense. Expensive dinners at restaurants we'd never been to. Hotel charges in the middle of weekdays. Gifts from jewelry stores. When I asked, Linda said they were for her sister's birthday. Or her book club. Always had an excuse. I started keeping a notebook. Hid it in my toolbox in the garage. Started writing down everything. Tuesday, March 15th, Linda left for book club at 7:15 p.m. Wearing black dress. Came home 10:45 p.m. Hair messed up. Showered immediately. Wednesday, March 16th, found lipstick on coffee cup. Not her shade, bright red. Linda only wears pink. Thursday, March 17th, said she was working late at volunteer work. Called the charity at 8 p.m. They said Linda hadn't volunteered there in 6 months. Friday, March 18th, Linda's gym bag smelled like men's cologne. Expensive stuff. Not mine. Saturday, March 19th, book club at Janet's house, she said. Janet called our house at 4 p.m. asking if Linda wanted to join book club next month. Linda wasn't home to take the call. Sunday, March 20th, Tyler came for dinner. Sat next to Mom. They kept looking at each other, like they had secrets. Monday, March 21st, checked our joint account online. $2,000 withdrawal. ATM on 5th Street. Linda said she needed cash for groceries. Groceries don't cost $2,000. Tuesday, March 22nd, Linda left gym early. Followed her in my car. She went to Starbucks on Main Street. Sat with Kevin for an hour. Held hands across the table. Every lie, every contradiction. Every secret meeting. I wrote it all down. 3 weeks ago, I decided to listen to that conversation I accidentally heard. I needed to know what my son was really telling my wife. I got home early from work. Parked down the street. Called Linda's phone from my car. Said I was running late, would be home around 7. Then I snuck back to the house. Used the key to get in through the garage. Went upstairs to my office. Linda was on the phone with Tyler. I could hear through the heating vent. Tyler said, "Mom, you need to be smart about this. You've been married 26 years. In this state, that means you're entitled to half of everything." Linda asked, "But what if he finds out about Kevin before I file?" Tyler replied, "That's exactly why you need to file first. Get a good lawyer. Start moving money to your own accounts. Dad's too trusting. He won't see it coming." Linda asked, "Are you sure this will work?" Tyler answered, "I studied business law, Mom. I know what I'm talking about." You just need to be careful. Don't let Dad catch on. I recorded the rest on my phone. 43 minutes of my son teaching my wife how to destroy me, how to hide assets, which lawyers to call, how to make me look bad in court. Tyler told her to claim I was controlling with money, to say I didn't let her work, to make it look like I was hiding assets from her. All lies. The worst part? Tyler had been taking money from Linda. She'd given him $15,000 over 2 months, called it a loan for job hunting, but it was my money, from our joint account. Money I'd earned working 60-hour weeks. During all this, Linda was acting completely normal at home. Made me coffee every morning at 6:30 a.m. Colombian blend, 2 sugars, splash of cream. Told me she loved me. Kissed my cheek when she left for the gym. Asked about my day when I got home. Tyler would come over for dinner twice a week. Sit at our kitchen table. Eat food I paid for. Talk about job interviews and career plans. The whole time he was planning how to rob me. The fake acting was worse than the cheating. At least cheating was honest. This was just lies. The next morning I started my investigation. First I hired a private investigator. Jennifer Torres, former police detective. Charges $300 a day. I gave her photos of Linda and Kevin. Asked her to document everything. Second, I called my lawyer. Sarah Williams. I've referred clients to her for 15 years. She handles divorces. Told her I needed to protect myself. Third, I started documenting everything. Every lie Linda told me. Every suspicious charge on our credit cards. Every time Tyler gave her advice about money. Jennifer's first report came back in 5 days. Linda and Kevin weren't just having an affair. They were planning a future together. Kevin had been telling Linda he loved her, that he wanted to marry her, that they could live off my money after the divorce. But here's what Linda didn't know about Kevin. Jennifer found out he was $45,000 in debt. Credit cards, car loan, back rent. His personal training business was failing. He'd been targeting wealthy married women for 2 years. Linda wasn't his first victim. Jennifer dug deeper. Found 2 other women Kevin had done this to. Sarah Martinez, 43, divorced after Kevin convinced her to leave her husband. He disappeared 2 weeks after her divorce was final. Jennifer Walsh, 46, lost $35,000 funding Kevin's fake photography business. Both women lived in nearby cities. Kevin had a system. Target lonely married women with money. Make them feel special. Get them to leave their husbands. Take their money. Move on. Jennifer got photos of Linda and Kevin together. At hotels, at restaurants. At his apartment. Room 247 at the Grandview Inn, 3 different dates. Time stamps, credit card receipts, everything. She also found out Kevin was still seeing Susan Fletcher while dating Linda. Susan's husband owns 3 car dealerships. Kevin was working 2 women at the same time. I went to Tyler's apartment. Told him I wanted lunch. Father-son time. We went to his favorite steakhouse. Ordered drinks. Started talking about his job search. I asked any good prospects? Tyler said a few interviews lined up. Thanks for the loan, by the way. Really helps. I asked what loan. Tyler went pale. His hands started shaking. He put down his beer. He said quietly, the $15,000 Mom gave me. I replied that wasn't a loan from Mom. That was my money, from our joint account. Money I earned working 60-hour weeks while you and Mom planned how to rob me. Long silence. Tyler stared at his plate. Couldn't look at me. He started, Dad, I can explain. I cut him off saying no need. I heard you explaining to Mom already. 3 weeks ago. On the phone. 43 minutes of you teaching my wife how to steal my money. I pulled out my phone. Played 30 seconds of the recording. Tyler's voice was clear. He pleaded, Dad, please. I told him you took $15,000 of my money. You coached Mom on how to take hundreds of thousands more. You planned to help destroy me. Your own father. Tyler started crying. Real tears. He said, I'm sorry, Dad. Mom said you two were already over. That you didn't love her anymore. That you were going to leave her with nothing. I asked, so you believed her instead of talking to me? He replied, I don't know. I was stupid. I thought I was helping. I said you were helping. You were helping her steal from me. I left Tyler at that restaurant. Drove straight to Sarah Williams's office. Gave her everything. The recordings. The photos. The financial records. Jennifer's investigation report. Sarah said this is a strong case. Adultery, financial planning, fraud, asset hiding. We can file immediately. I asked, what will Linda get? She answered with this evidence. Maybe 30% of marital assets. No alimony. She'll have to pay her own legal fees. I asked about Tyler. Sarah replied, he's not your spouse, so divorce court doesn't apply. But this recording could be used in other ways. We can make sure every potential employer knows about his character. I also made some financial moves. Took $85,000 in stocks Linda didn't know about. Money from before we were married. Moved it to a business account at a different bank. Changed the house deed. If she cheats, she gets nothing. Required both signatures for any withdrawals over $500 from our joint accounts. I also moved $30,000 from our savings account to my business account. Legal, since I was the only one earning money. Canceled Linda's credit cards. All of them. Changed the passwords on all our online accounts. Banking, investments, insurance. Everything. I called our insurance agent. Changed the beneficiary on my life insurance policy. Used to be Linda. Now it's a trust fund for any future grandchildren. If I die, Linda gets nothing. I also liquidated some bonds, $25,000 worth. Money Linda had forgotten about. Put that in a separate account too. By the time I was done, Linda could only access about $10,000 in cash. Everything else was protected. Sarah filed for divorce the next Monday. Linda was served papers at the gym. Right in front of Kevin. Right in front of all her workout friends. The papers included photos of her and Kevin together. Dates, times, locations. Room 247 at Grandview Inn. Restaurant receipts. Everything. When Linda got home that day, the house was different. I'd removed all the family photos from the walls, all the pictures of our wedding, our vacations, Tyler's graduation photos, everything that showed we'd been a happy family. I'd also moved all the furniture in the living room, rearranged everything, made the house feel cold and different. On the kitchen counter, I left a white envelope, her name written in my handwriting. Inside, I wrote, "You threw away 26 years for a man who doesn't love you. Tyler threw away his father for $15,000. Now you both get to see what that was worth." Linda came home screaming, crying. She saw the envelope. Read the note, started crying harder. She pleaded, "Robert, please, we can work this out." I pulled out my phone, played the recording of Tyler coaching her. Tyler's voice filled our kitchen saying, "Dad's too trusting. He won't see it coming." Linda went white, sat down hard in a kitchen chair. I told her I know about Kevin. I know about room 247 at the Grandview Inn. I know about the $15,000 you gave Tyler. I know about your plan to take half my money. I know Kevin's been seeing Susan Fletcher at the same time. I know about Sarah Martinez and Jennifer Walsh, Kevin's other victims. She asked, "You hired someone to follow me?" I answered, "I hired someone to document the truth. Something you and Tyler stopped caring about months ago." Linda tried everything. Begging, crying, promising to end it with Kevin. Saying it was all a mistake. But I was done listening to lies. The next day, I made sure Kevin faced consequences too. I called the country club manager. Told him one of their personal trainers was having affairs with multiple married members. Sent him the photos Jennifer had taken. Kevin was fired within 24 hours. His membership was revoked. I also called Tom Fletcher directly, Susan's husband. Told him his wife was one of Kevin's targets. That Kevin was seeing multiple married women. Tom confronted Susan that night. She confessed everything. But the real damage to Kevin came from his other victims. I found Sarah Martinez and Jennifer Walsh. Told them Linda wasn't Kevin's first victim. They decided to work together. Filed complaints with the Better Business Bureau. Posted reviews on every fitness website, warning other women about Kevin. I drove to Sarah Martinez's house first. She lived 40 minutes away. Nice neighborhood. Big house. Clearly had money. I knocked on her door at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. I asked, "Are you Sarah Martinez?" She said, "Yes. Who are you?" I introduced myself, saying my name is Robert Miller. My wife is having an affair with Kevin Morrison. I think you know him. Her face went white. She invited me in. Made coffee. We talked for 2 hours. Sarah told me everything. How Kevin had convinced her to leave her husband. How he'd promised to marry her. How he'd disappeared 2 weeks after her divorce was final. She'd lost half her assets in the divorce, $300,000. Kevin had vanished with some of her jewelry too. Expensive stuff. I told her he's doing the same thing to my wife. And probably other women too. Sarah was angry. Really angry, she gave me Jennifer Walsh's contact information. Said they'd stayed in touch after Kevin screwed them both. I called Jennifer that night. Same story. Kevin had convinced her to invest in his photography business, $35,000. The business never existed. Kevin had spent the money on his BMW and apartment rent. Jennifer said we need to stop him before he ruins more lives. The three of us met at a coffee shop the next weekend. Made a plan. Sarah would post on every social media group for divorced women in the area, warning them about Kevin. Jennifer would contact the Better Business Bureau and file fraud complaints. I would handle the fitness industry connections. Within 2 weeks, Kevin couldn't find work anywhere. Word gets around fast in the fitness community. No gym would hire him. No woman would train with him. But I wasn't finished with Tyler. I called 3 companies where he'd been interviewing. Told them I was his father. Said I needed to share some information about his character. Sent them the recording of him planning to help steal money from his own family. Goldman Sachs called him that afternoon. Told him they were withdrawing their job offer. Merrill Lynch canceled his final interview. JP Morgan just stopped returning his calls. I also sent the recording to his business school. They have people who review student behavior. Students who help plan theft can have their degrees taken away. Tyler's MBA might be gone. Tyler called me crying, begging me to stop, saying he'd learned his lesson. I told him you helped plan to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from your own father. You took $15,000 of my money. You coached Mom on how to lie about me in court. These are the consequences. You made your choice when you picked her side over your own family. He pleaded, but I need a job, Dad. I have rent to pay. I replied, you don't have student loans. I paid for your entire education. And you used that education to try to destroy me. Tyler tried everything to find work. Applied to over 200 companies in 6 months. Every time he got to the background check phase, employers would call me. I was listed as his emergency contact on most applications. I told them all the same thing. Sent them all the same recording. I would say my son helped plan financial fraud against his own family. You can listen to the evidence yourself. Tyler changed his emergency contact information. Started using his friend's number instead. But word gets around in the finance industry. People talk. Everyone knew about the MBA student who'd helped his mother plan to steal from his father. Tyler tried working at a restaurant. Lasted 3 weeks. The manager found out about the recording when someone from his business school called asking about his character. Fired him the next day. He tried selling cars. Same thing. The dealership owner's wife had heard about Linda and Kevin through the country club gossip network. When she found out Tyler was Linda's son, she made her husband fire him. Tyler even tried working construction. Physical labor. Something completely different from finance. But his hands were soft. He wasn't used to real work. Quit after 5 days when his back started hurting. Tyler moved back in with Linda. Into her new apartment. A 1-bedroom place near the railroad tracks. $900 a month. Trains run by every 2 hours. Day and night. She'd found a job at Target. $13 an hour. Stocking shelves and working the register. First real job she'd had in 20 years. Her hands weren't used to work. Came home with blisters every night. But Linda's social destruction was as bad as her money problems. The country club women found out about the affair. About the divorce papers served at the gym. About Kevin seeing multiple married women. Rebecca Hamilton was the first to call. She'd been Linda's tennis partner for 3 years. Rebecca asked, "Is it true about you and Kevin?" Linda tried to lie. Said it was a misunderstanding. That Kevin was just her trainer. "Nothing more," Rebecca replied. Linda, "Everyone saw the divorce papers. There were photos. Hotel receipts. We're not stupid." Rebecca stopped calling after that. Stopped inviting Linda to tennis matches. Then came the book club. Linda had been a member for 8 years. They met every Tuesday at different houses. Read romance novels mostly. Drank wine. Gossiped about their husbands. Janet Morrison was the book club leader. She called Linda on a Wednesday morning. Janet said, "We've decided you're no longer welcome in our book club." Linda asked why. "What did I do?" Janet answered, "You know exactly what you did. We don't associate with women who cheat on their husbands. Bad for our reputations." Linda's yoga class friends were next. She'd been taking classes at Serenity Studio for 4 years. Hot yoga, Pilates, meditation classes. The instructor, Maria Santos, called her personally. Maria said, "Linda, I think it's best if you find a new studio." Linda asked, "Are you kicking me out?" Maria replied, "Several of our members are uncomfortable with you being here. They don't want their husbands thinking this is where cheating wives come to work out." The charity work ended too. Linda had volunteered at the animal shelter for 6 years. Walking dogs, cleaning cages. She actually enjoyed it. But the shelter director, Mrs. Patterson, called her at home. Mrs. Patterson said, "We won't be needing your services anymore." Linda asked, "Did I do something wrong with the animals?" Mrs. Patterson replied, "It's not about the animals. It's about your personal conduct. We can't have volunteers who don't represent our values." She tried to restart things with Kevin in Florida. Drove down there with half the money from our divorce. About $140,000. Found out he'd already moved in with another woman. Another divorced woman with money. Linda was just another target. She came back after a week. Lost, broke, alone. The money she'd taken to Florida was mostly gone. Kevin had convinced her to invest in his new business. A gym that never opened. Another scam. Tyler finally found a job 8 months later. Customer service at a call center, $16 an hour. Takes him over an hour to commute each way. He's still paying me back the $15,200 a month. It'll take him 6 years. He also lost his girlfriend. Jessica had been with him for 2 years. When she found out what he'd done to his own father, she left him. Said she couldn't trust someone who'd betray family for money. The divorce was final 4 months later. Linda got 30% of our assets instead of 50%, about $280,000 total. No alimony. She had to pay her own lawyer fees. Another $25,000 in. Kevin moved to Tampa 2 months after losing his job. Couldn't find work anywhere in our city. Word had spread about what he'd been doing. Sarah Martinez and Jennifer Walsh had made sure everyone knew his tricks. I kept the house. Kept my job, kept my reputation. My clients never found out about the divorce details. I told them Linda and I had grown apart, that it was mutual. What they don't know is that I learned something from all this. Trust is good, but checking up is better. I've started helping other clients protect their money from family members who might take advantage. It's become part of my business. 3 months after my divorce was final, Tom Fletcher came to see me. Susan's husband, the other woman Kevin had been seeing. Tom said, "I need your help. Susan's trying to take half my dealerships in our divorce. She's claiming she helped build the business. But she never worked a day." Just like Linda, I helped Tom document everything. Susan's spending habits, her affair with Kevin, her plan to claim business ownership she'd never earned. Tom kept 80% of his assets when their divorce was final. Word spread. I got a call from David Williams. His wife was cheating with their neighbor. She was planning to claim half his medical practice. David said, "I heard you helped Tom Fletcher. Can you help me too?" I did. David kept his practice. His wife got 25% of their assets. Fair, considering she'd broken their marriage. Then came William Torres. His adult son was trying to get him declared incompetent so he could control William's finances. The son thought the old man wouldn't figure it out. William said, "My son thinks I'm stupid, but I know what he's doing. I just need proof." I connected William with Jennifer Torres, the PI. She documented everything. The son's gambling debts, his plan to put William in a cheap nursing home, his meetings with lawyers about declaring William incompetent. William's son got nothing. William changed his will, left everything to charity. My reputation grew. Clients started referring other clients. People who needed protection from greedy family members, cheating spouses, adult children who saw their parents as ATM machines. Tyler sends me birthday cards now. Christmas cards. Tries to keep some kind of relationship. I don't respond. Last year he sent a photo. Him with a baby. My granddaughter, apparently. Emma, she has his eyes. My eyes. Sometimes I think about the baby. Then I remember what Tyler did. How he coached Linda on how to destroy me. Using my own money to pay for legal advice on how to steal more of my money. I'm done with both of them. Linda remarried last year. A man she met at Target. Jerry, he works in the stockroom. Makes about $30,000 a year. They live in a small apartment across town. She looks 10 years older now. Stress and regret show. I've got a new house now. Smaller than the old one, but it's mine completely. No joint ownership. No shared accounts. No one plotting behind my back. I'm dating someone new. Carol, she's 49, works as a nurse. Earns her own money. Has her own apartment. We've been together 8 months. She knows about the divorce, but not the details. I might tell her someday. When I'm sure I can trust her. Trust. That's the thing about betrayal. It changes how you see everyone. How you check everything people say. How you plan for the worst while hoping for the best. In my business, we call it due diligence. Checking before you invest. I should have done that with my family. With my marriage. With my son. But now I know better. And knowing better means I'll never be vulnerable like that again. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you think about how I handled the situation. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get alerts about new stories like this one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.